Again, honoring you for being here because this is in honor of the new moon in Cancer. I'm an oracular astrologer, so I always weave in the current astrology in our inner circle ceremonies to really root us in this ancient cosmic wisdom. And the new moon in Cancer is about this deep love of care, this mutual aid of activating this matrix together. And the new moon is actually exact on Tuesday, so we're meeting in the 3-day window before Tuesday, June 28th at 10:52 p.m. And the keywords really associated with Cancer energies are sensual, divine feminine, peace and pleasure, safety and security. It has to do with home and relationships and community and rest and resilience and nurturing and nourishment, which are all things that are so important for us right now as we're entering into this time. And Cancer is really a water sign. It's the sign of the crab. It's the sea that birthed the first organisms on Earth. It's the primordial great mother, the divine mother, who loves and cares for us unconditionally. And Cancer season can be like a salve for the soul. And so it really symbolizes the origins of our origins and the embryonic fluid that nourishes life in the womb and keeps it safe. And Cancer also rules the womb, which is why it's such a potent time for all that is unfolding right now and for us to be gathered to do this deeper healing work. In the number 22, which is Mary Magdalene's number, and a number of the sacred feminine as well. And so the essence, the Cancer archetype is all about attachment in a lot of ways and bonding, how we bond to people, to places, to things that protect and comfort us. And really that mothering and that nurturing energy. And, it also rules the belly and the breasts, emotional bonding. And so that idea of belonging, which is such a focus of our inner circle here. So it was an ideal time to open up to the larger community because activating that collective matrix of care now is essential. It's one of the cards in the Sacred Revolution Oracle deck. It's actually made of all the hands of people in our inner circle and, connecting and bonding with people that we love and resonate with and leaning into that mutual aid is really essential in these challenging times when we need to have courage and resilience and we need to be able to rest because the level of pain and grief can be exhausting in itself by what is transpiring. So really taking the time to honor our full selves. And this idea that there is no true safety unless this care becomes a central core part of all that we do. And so, it's more important now than ever when our reproductive rights and other civil liberties are really being threatened. So looking at the places where our bonds have been broken, whether it's our ties to the land or to our food or to the natural processes of birth, death, rebirth, whether it's to nature or to our own bodies or to our intuitive knowing or the gnosis that lives in our wombs, really looking at how we can practice that art of reconnection, especially this moon cycle. And, this is really the essence of what the Sacred Revolution is about. And I believe this is a time when we can choose a new way forward and this return to the body, the earth, and the great web of all life in a profound homecoming is what the essence of the Oracle is about and so much of the work that we do. And it's an invitation now, I feel, for us to build a new system because the systems that be are irrevocably broken. And it's our opportunity to really build a new system that's in service to the sacredness of all life and the sacred feminine especially. And we have the potential to co-create from our holy womb space the new earth and paradigm, because we birth universes and whole galaxies through our bodies and our wombs. We are connected to the universe through our ecstatic embodiment. Two other highlights of this particular Cancer new moon is that it's square with our Jupiter and Aries energy, that fire warrior, wild warrior woman energies that could heighten sensitivities. And so really be mindful to tending to self, tending to your reaction and instead coming from a place of spirit guided response and tending to your home, both your physical home, but also your body home, like a crab carries its shell on its back, really tending to that inner home with deep, deep care now. And this new moon will also be conjunct the asteroid Black Moon Lilith, which can give us a rebellious energy to use to our advantage. So I would like to highlight that, because that Jupiter in Aries, even though there's this nourishment, it's the both and I'm going to go into that in a minute. It's the both and of having this deep level of nourishment and care and making sure we are nourished so that we can then nourish the world with our gifts. But it's also activating that fire and bringing that fire forward as well. So it's really making sure we're in balance of those energies, the water and the fire right now, those cooling practices that can help to soothe us, and those fire practices that can help bring us to action, to take a stand for what we most care about and want to protect in that Cancer way of the mother, the fierce mama bear who protects her cub and who stands up and who says no when she needs to. So it's those energies together that it feels like we're being invited to dance into. And the reason that I share that is when I found out about the Supreme Court decision, shortly after, I went straight to my Oracle deck and I was like, what do we need to know? And 2 cards jumped out of the deck immediately. And so these are going to be the cards for us for this moon cycle. Normally there's only one. Every moon cycle in our Soul Sparkle Sanctuary Inner Circle, we journey with one of the 13 pillars of the sacred art of sparkling shamelessly and a theme. And then we also have our overarching theme, which is sacred pleasure power. And so the pillar for this new moon is to commit to truth, healing, and transformation. That is our pillar, one of the core 13 pillars of the sacred art of sparkling shamelessly. And our theme is going to be these 2 cards. So energetic womb level nourishment was the first card that jumped out. Not so surprising, but it's that element of really tending, caring, the shamanic nourisher archetype, the one who is in radical soul care, who is in their vitality and who is leaning into sustaining life and who is listening to the voice of the body, that sweet honey nectar. And it's really leaning into deep nourishment for all and what is for the greater good of the collective. And so there's an element here in this card of surrender, surrendering to a deeper level of nourishment and really allowing ourselves to open to new levels of love and radiance and support that we might not have allowed ourselves in the future. The number for the card, this one is number 4 for this card. And it's really a reminder here to allow in that divine light streaming into every pore and womb level nourishment. And when I speak of the womb, I usually say energetic womb, because regardless if you have a womb or not, you have this energetic within you. So if you no longer have a womb, you still have this energetic womb space. So know that when I speak of the womb, it is that energetic womb that I'm referring to. And that really to tap into this level of nourishment requires detaching from the matrix and connecting into the vastness of the cosmos and the abundance of all life that is available. And knowing that we are encoded for thriving and calling on that energy, tapping into that deep level of inner discernment as the hummingbirds here. They memorize thousands of flowers and they only go back to the ones that nourish them the most. So getting extremely discerning about what nourishes you and moving towards that during this time. Knowing that your body, it's card number 4, Krista, knowing that your body is your teacher and it tells you what you need to know. It's time to really stop avoiding listening and to tune in, to stay deeply nourished and sustained on the body level and pure within your own vessel now. And so leaning in sacred circles like this is a way to do that, to be nourished, to be held, to be fed. That is why we gather regularly, to remember ourselves into being, to receive that nourishment and sustenance, to be reminded of how we can show up and how we can hold each other, how we can lean in challenging times. We do not need to do this alone. We are a force field together of light, love, and healing. And so really calling on that energy. So this is the first energy, the water energy of the Cancer. And then we have the fire, the activate your volcanic passion card. And again, these were the 2 that jumped out of the deck immediately, because I usually go to Oracle when things are challenging and I'm like, oh shit. When I heard the decision, I was like, I'm going straight to the Oracle. And as I started shuffling, they flew themselves out of the card. Out of the deck. And so this card, Activate Your Volcanic Passion, is the Aries energy. This was made right before I went to Hawaii to do ceremony for the new moon in Aries, which is Haleakala Crater is the World Fire Center. in terms of the earth chakras and the energy points around the earth. And that energy is infused into this card. And that volcanic energy is part of that passion, that Aries fire, because Jupiter is in Aries now, which expands everything it touches. We're being called on to expand that inner fierce feminine flame that we all have, to ignite it and to expand it and to step into the ring of creation and those primal energies in our body of co-creation, and allowing our soul to throb with aliveness and enhance our creative capacities, our sexual energy, our Shakti, and our knowing, our innate knowing and gnosis. And so we will be calling on Hawaiian goddess Pele, the volcano goddess, today to call in some of this energy. We will be moving with both the water nourishing energies and also the fire today in our healing journey, and really allowing the fire activation to help you step into the next level of your radiance, of your gifts, of your shameless sparkle, and vibrate at a higher vibrational frequency. And the volcanic medicine can help to bring you into action when you are ready. And so this is an invitation to that yearning and that urge that we all have to create. I like to think of our womb as our primordial throne of cosmic creation. And so when we're really tapped in with that womb sovereignty, we have direct access to those creative powers. And so we're also going to be activating those powers together in the collective matrix today to help dream a new dream into being. And yes, this is card 28. 28, Erin. So card 4 and 28, getting the numbers right. Thank you for that. So, call it feminine power, call it Shakti, call it Kundalini, call it life force energy, whatever resonates. The womb is the literal seat of cosmic creation in this energetic womb space, regardless of our gender. And it's where we bring forth all new life. And so this is a time when we need to bring forth new life, new systems, new policies, all new systems and infrastructure. And so this is a time when we nourish and we show up with our fire, with our creative capacities to do the right thing, to do what needs to be done, and to protect our womb sovereignty. Because hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, as it has been said. And we will not go back. The fury will be ignited for trying to take away rights that have been granted and lived with. And so, this is that, like, letting that sacred rage come forward and inspire. It's that well of passion and compassion and sacred rage that can really inspire us to the next level of what needs to be created. And we know the new paradigm needs to be created. We know that the patriarchy is crumbling with the Pluto return of the USA that's happening all this year, and we're getting another direct hit in July. All of these things are written in the stars, and it's our time to really come together, because I believe that it's all of us weaving our energy and the dream together that we will be able to create the new way forward. There isn't any one person that holds the answers. It's in us collectively coming together, collectively creating, collaborating, and dreaming the new world into being that it is going to come in to pass. And that's why I'm so passionate about sacred circles and gathering in sacred circles, because this is how we're going to really create the new paradigm and the new earth. So those are our energies we're going to be journeying with all moon cycle. For those who are in the inner circle, if you end up wanting to come in and join us, we're going to be really diving in with that medicine and energy, and also today in our ceremony.